Hey guys, Bobby Thompson back with another video. And in this video, I want to talk about what I call the celestial clock. And before we get started, I want to share a quote by Rene Descartes. And it goes, "If you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things." And what that means is, if you've never doubted the shape of the place that we inhabit, the home we inhabit, you're not a real seeker of truth. Like you, I believed everything I was taught. I believed in the ball. I believed in space travel. I believed in aliens. I was an atheist. And it wasn't until I was forced to research the subject that I realized there was more than just a little bit of truth to this. I want to share some evidence that convinced me to look deeper. Okay, so let's get started. One of the architectural marvels that's out there is Padmanabaswamy Temple in someplace India. This temple, during the summer equinox, the sun goes right down through these holes, windows, slots in the building perfectly. And it does that year after year, century after century, for however old this megalithic structure is. Here I just wanted to share some megalithic structure porn. I'm a huge fan of megalithic structures, and I think that the design of this is amazing. Another monument or memorial or structure is Anthem Veterans Memorial in Anthem, Arizona. And every year on November 11th at 11:11 a.m., you can see this projection dedicated to the veterans of the United States, and it shows up with great precision to within less than 30-second precision year after year. So hour, minute, seconds from 11:10:58, between 11:10:58 and 11:11:22, every year this is projected from this memorial. And that is crazy accuracy. And here we have the Georgia Guidestones, and which is thankfully no longer with us. But this hole drilled in the center of this structure pointed at the North Star, the pole star Polaris. And if you were to look through this hole, you would see that star every night of the year. Every year that structure existed, it was there. It never moved. With the Earth tumbling through space, swinging around the sun, and everything else going on with the solar system and galaxy, that star was always right there. And you can do that anywhere that the pole star is observable. Anywhere you can see that star from where you live, it will always be there. It will never move. Another example are the Pyramids of Giza. So we've observed this configuration in paintings and photos and drawings going back as far as it's been recorded. These pyramids have lined up with these three stars. And these are, if you're not familiar, star trails. And this is the image you would get from a long exposure pointing at the pole star Polaris. And there are some phenomenal videos on YouTube that I didn't share because I did not want to risk getting a strike on this video, so I shared some photos instead. But these long exposure photos result in perfectly concentric circles. And the odds of us traveling through space with all these different orbits and at all these different angles and spinning around all these, looking out in different directions, we get these perfectly concentric star trails, and they never change year after year, as long as we've had the technology to do long exposure. And another thing that should make you think are these perfectly symmetrical patterns that are created by the interaction of the planets and the Earth. So let's look at some of these interactions. All right, moving on. Here's the dance of the Sun and Jupiter. A different video. Let's check it out. And you can see this dance is creating a perfectly symmetrical pattern, and it never changes. And as long as our solar system has been recorded, these patterns have been recorded. And to believe that an explosion created this dance of all these stars that create these perfectly symmetrical patterns that never change, right? None of these bodies that we observe change their relationship with each other. That's pretty amazing. To me, that's impossible odds. Another thing I like to think that I thought about, and I like to share with my friends, is how many seconds are in a day. If you've never thought about this, there's 86,400 seconds in a day. That's a base 60 number or sexagesimal number, and it's not 86,401. It doesn't vary by a second every day or two. It doesn't vary by 10 seconds or 60 seconds. There is a little trick they play. Called the sidereal day, which would add a few seconds onto it, but that's the correct night. I'll get into that in a separate video. But what we observe is that 86,400 second day, and if again later I'll discuss how they trick you about this number. But 86,400 seconds is accurate. That's what we observe from Earth. And how accurate is that number? Well, let's talk about atomic clock. If you look up the most accurate clock on Google, it'll tell you it's an atomic clock, and that these clocks are accurate. That they will lose 1 second approximately every 100 million years. That's crazy accuracy. 100 million years. That's dinosaurs died out 66 million years ago, right? 100 million years is a lot of time. If you believe in dinosaurs, that was a poke. But you can't make that claim without some type of comparison, right? What are you comparing it to? How do you know it's that accurate? The only thing you can compare time to is our celestial clock. There's no other thing that all these timepieces all throughout the world, and the way we eventually came to these seconds that created Swiss watches and atomic clocks and every measuring instrument we have, we compared it to the celestial clock, and it turned out to be perfectly accurate, more so than an atomic clock, because that's what we compare. That is the foundation of comparison, right? So if you believe, you have to believe that an explosion created this perfectly accurate timepiece in the sky that's accurate to 86,400 seconds a day, day after day, year after year. decade after decade, and so on. And in addition to that, these dances that create perfectly symmetrical shapes and designs, that can't happen by chance. That is proof of a creator. And this is just one subject in the overall subject of flat earth, or biblical cosmology, as I like to call it. And I hope you'll look at all other subjects. And I hope you entertain this and go down this rabbit hole, but be forewarned that you're not going to find good evidence just by searching YouTube. Those days are gone. You're going to find well thought out, well planned, by some of the greatest minds, cover-ups that look like thorough debunks. But if you do a little bit more digging, I promise that you will find a debunk of their debunk, and you should never find that. But it's always the case. So thanks for dropping in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.